Another day down. Played the 2200 Venetian Flight B. No good, but managed to have a good time despite sitting in a room full of misery. A lot of people had their heart broken busting the 1100 prime on day two, and they came straight across. There was about 500 entries plus the 100 yesterday, so they hit the guarantee in 2 days. Million guaranteed. Love to see that. Not a great deal of interesting hands happened. Just waited for my spots. Ended up launching it for 25 bigs with 10s into aces. So common themes, and just not going to let it get me down. The thing about tournament poker is it doesn't matter how good you are. You basically just rock up day after day after day and get your head caved in. But you just keep coming back for more. You know, Einstein said the definition of insanity was to do the same thing over and over and over again and expect a different result. But it isn't the same thing every time, you know. Every day you get stronger, you get smarter, you get sharper, assuming you put the work in. And the cards just fall as they may, you know. The chips move as they will, and you just got to remember to have fun. That's what I'm hammering on about, you know. Like, just sticking to the plan, killing him with kindness, you know. Just literally every time a dealer changes, I tap the table and I say, how's it going? So-and-so, you know? And every time a new player comes in, welcome in. You know, if they ignore me, welcome in, sir. If they ignore that, they're enemy number one. You know what I mean? So in doing just the simple things, just saying hello, I see rare smiles from people. I see some Europeans revealing where they're from, which is a huge one. But yeah, I just get such a nice read on who they are, where they're from, how they see the world. And I also just try to make people's day, you know. Today, the highlight of my day was actually seeing Didier Guerin. Sorry if I butchered your surname, mate. What a professional, the consummate professional, ambassador for APT. Always has a smile on his face, you know. He was sitting there with like crumbs, just laughing along, throwing some banter. Some chick said to him, oh, can I see your chips? And he just had so few chips she couldn't even tell. That was hilarious. That made my day. So naturally, when it folded to us blind versus blind, I hit him with the, can I see your stack, sir? Before bluffing him with the nut low. Sorry, dudes. But, yeah. Tomorrow, I think there's something at the Aria. Probably just flick that. We'll just keep doing my thing, taking it easy. It's honestly been more of a time for self-improvement, and you know, like every time, this is the thing, you know, I go home and I just like hit the books all day, every day, and I just sort of reward myself with a few beers at the end of the day. It's awful lifestyle habits, frankly. But when I go away, I make a point that I don't drink. I just dry out and hit the gym. You know, like you stay, when you're traveling around, staying in hotels, you do get some perks. You get pools, you get gyms. Use them. Invest in yourself. So we'll play tomorrow, and then I guess I'll just launch the stack in the World Championship on Saturday. Really looking forward to it. Day 1A. Now, I don't usually rock up on time, but when you start buying in for like $10,000, all of a sudden your hourly it's worth rocking up. All the recreationals are in their seats from the start. And yeah, I can't stress to you guys how much I'm looking forward to this one. I have worked towards this my whole life, it feels like. And it's going to be a real battle, but I've never been fitter. I've never been stronger. And unfortunately, I'm going to have to compensate for my skill deficit, as I have not been studying at all. So to do that, I'm just going to be human. I am going to watch these guys like a hawk. I will pick up on physical tells. Whenever a hand is dealt, when you get good enough at poker, you start focusing on the little things, you know? Without giving too much away, there's basically just a clock running in my head. I am keeping tabs on everyone's timing. I'm keeping tabs on everyone's physical tells. So that's my edge. I'm going to embrace that. I'm going to talk to people. Will Kasuf them if I have to. I'll talk at them, but obviously I'll be respectful because I'm not a prick. Now, I do just want to address one of my previous episodes, which just skyrocketed in views, and I'm absolutely not having a crack at Vegas. They have the fairest loss rates. That's all documented. It's brilliantly run, frankly. What I am trying to hit home is that even under fair rake considerations, people can still lose their minds. You know, it is a struggle out here, and I hate to see it. But when I look at what's going on back home, we are being charged sometimes even more rake, and we sit down in shitty chairs using chips that have never been washed, reused decks, you know, just... I've literally sat in some of these things and been misdealt at 3 times in a row before the bloody hand happens. You know what I mean? There is a standard, and it has to be hit. If you want to charge premium dollars for rake, deliver. Now, that's more than enough. That's enough for a rant for tonight. Peace.